So I thought you did a really good job on your video, both of you. So I guess I'm going to start off with tone of voice. I give you a 10 because when you were asking the questions, your voice was really loud and clear, and it sounded like you were really interested when you were asking them because your voice got louder. And it was just really encouraging. Like, you just genuinely seemed interested in what Riley's answers were.
Or trying to yell at you.
And you, while Riley was answering, your tone of voice got quieter because I put here that you were using your active listening skills, like saying yeah, and those weren't loud, so you switched your tone of voice when it was like appropriate to do so.
Okay.
So I do 10 for that. This speech pattern, I put like in between a 9 and a 10 because at times you would pause and it seemed like you were unsure of what question you were trying to ask, but then I put overall you flowed right back into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to make it a 10, I would have just like a little more confident in the question instead of maybe like pausing a few times, but we didn't do that very often in the video. For body language, I gave you between 9 because I said you kept eye contact throughout the whole thing, which is good, and like looked away when it was appropriate. But then I marked how your legs were like kind of crossed, so it might have just seemed, but both yours were, so that was probably just out of comfort. But your hands were open, like you weren't like taking notes and like having your head down. You would look up and then glance back down, and almost like you were either looking at the next question or just like trying to remember what she was saying. For hearing, I did 10 because you responded to all of her questions really well. You didn't hesitate to answer them at all. And then you offered your feedback.
Yeah.
Instead of just listening to what Riley was saying, like, okay, next question. You said, like, how you felt about it, too, so it could give Riley some perspective, which I really liked. Observing, I put a 10 because I liked how you noticed that there needed to be a break. Either you needed it or you noticed that Riley needed it, but it was good how you read the room and decided, okay, we'll need a little break, regroup, come back.
Okay.
So that's what I put for observing. Encouraging, I put like 8 or 9 because you were ready with notes and a pen, asking about her day, making sure she was comfortable. Asked her if she was comfortable a lot throughout the whole video.
I was going to mention that too. Like, you were very like aware and you were very conscious of trying to know how I was feeling, like making sure that I was comfortable throughout the whole time.
But your readiness was great. Your only focus was her, the questions you had, and like I said, you weren't looking down, like writing and like and still writing. Like, you looked up. Remembering, I put 9 because if you remembered what video she was talking about. You said, oh, your video was Kara or whatever. So it gave me the impression that you took the time beforehand to like briefly remember yourself of what the video was.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And you talked about you brought up the question again about her, how you thought about, or what you thought Riley would do if like, would she go back to her aunt's for like by herself, and you asked just Riley about what she thought of that, and you brought it up again, which I really liked, just to get her talking about it more.
Yeah.
I don't know if you thought maybe she didn't elaborate more the first time, or you just wanted more information.
Yeah.
On
I
it, but
just wanted more information, I guess, just to see.
But it was cool how you remembered, or like kept that in your head that you wanted to come back to it. And active listening, I put a 10 because throughout the whole thing you were nodding your head and saying like just not sitting there like in complete silence. It really, I'm thinking it made you know that she was listening to you.
For sure.
Just the slight movements and like especially the head nodding, because I don't do that often, but I really liked that. And I was gonna give a 9 just because at some points you would fidget with your pen.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the whole time, so I gave you a 10 because I think all the other positives outweighed that. But I think maybe a feedback would be if you knew you were going to fidget with it, like to just like put it down maybe.
Yeah.
Because I just put it, could have gave Riley the impression that you were anxious or really nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know if it did, but that's how I.
To be honest,
Received
I
it?
didn't really even notice it, but I can understand how it could
Yeah.
come across
Mhm.
as.
Yeah. And I think that's just a big part. Like, when I have things in my hands, I'm just, like, always
Yeah.
fidgeting. So I feel like if it was down, it would.
But it wasn't anything too noticeable. Like, it didn't happen the whole time.
Yeah.
Just a few times, maybe when you didn't know what to ask or
Yeah.
wasn't sure how to answer, but you didn't notice it. So
No, not really.
I think that went really well, like, especially
Yeah.
for your first interview,
and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I ask? Like,
I wrote down some like other things that I thought you did really well, which was you laughed, so you're both laughing at one point. I can't remember exactly what was said, but
I'm
I
not
knew
sure.
you two were giggling about it as I was writing down something I kind of forgot. But it was nice to see that it wasn't super strict and I'm gonna quote
Formal?
like formal or professional.
yeah.
Because you made it comfortable and you made it like you can joke if you wanted to, or you could laugh if you wanted to. You didn't have to hold it back.
Okay.
You asked really good questions, and then I put again like noticed that you read the room and needed a break. I like the question when you asked where she would do the interview. I don't think I would have ever thought of that, and I think
Yeah.
a location of where you would do it may affect how a youth might answer.
Yeah.
So like maybe in a more relaxed setting.
Yeah.
Like this, you two are sitting in like comfy chairs, not like ones like this that are super uncomfy and just like the atmosphere's calmer.
Yeah.
So maybe the youth or Kara would have been more, or even you and more willing to talk.
Okay.
But I liked how you asked that. And then asking about the use of her skills, and I liked how you said advanced highlight, because I really wouldn't have thought of that. But I liked how you asked about the skills.
Yeah.
Just incorporating what we learned in class and then putting it in the video, which was really cool. And then I think I mentioned this earlier too, how you were like throughout the video you were not concerned and worrying the whole time, but just keeping in mind of how Riley was feeling and checking in quite a bit,
Yeah.
which I thought was really good because Kara's situation was a sensitive topic and you wouldn't know if Riley had a deeper connection than that, but making sure she was okay and you two were good.
Yeah.
I really liked that. And then I liked how you asked the question, I really liked how you asked how you think it would affect their social life and their school life.
Yeah.
I thought that was really great and would, if Riley were to ask that to Kara, I think it would give a lot more insider information about what was going on or just how she felt, like getting to the root of how, like if she was feeling angry, upset, embarrassed. I just really liked the question.
It was a really good question.
It was like I was really like excited to hear what your response was,
Okay.
and then I also liked how you like shared your opinion on it.
I think a lot of my questions were just coming up, like, Riley would answer, and I'd be like, oh, now I can answer, like, ask her this
Yeah,
question.
you're coming
up
So,
with
like,
more
it keep-
Questions as she was answering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kept on coming.
I think that made it flow a little better too. How you were paying attention to her answers, so it helped you come up with solid questions to ask next instead of being there and like, I don't have any more questions.
And it was good that Riley was, like, pushing the answers. Like, it wasn't just, like, little sentences. It
One
was,
word
like,
answers. You did ask a lot of open-ended questions, which I really liked because I think that's what also helped Riley answer more instead of just closed-ended one-word answers, two-word answers, and then the conversation wouldn't go anywhere from that. You'd have to start all over.
And that's what I was trying to do is just, like, keep it going.
Yeah.
So.
And you did good. You the questions that you asked helped like flow the topics. Like it wasn't we're talking about this, now we're talking about this. Like there was it was flowing. Like it wasn't a sudden change in a topic.
I was scared that like my topics were like all over the place. But
no, you did good. And like
especially for your first interview, like we've always been the ones on the other side answering. So maybe I don't know if your role was easier or hard, but I know this role can be very like intimidating.
I feel like both roles can be pretty intimidating.
For sure.
Depending on your skill level.
But I think my only like constructive feedback would be like if you were needing to fidget to maybe not use the pen, because I think if I might have been there, I would think, oh, like am I making her uncomfortable? Or something like that, and just being a little more confident in yourself when asking the next question, because they're really good questions. So I felt like you didn't have to say like, because I thought your questions were great.
I did too, and I liked the way that you worded them.
And, like, sometimes I don't even notice that I'm fidgeting with things. It just happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just check the time. And I think we're good. Do you have any other questions about what I wrote back? Or what I wrote about?
I don't think so, no.
Guess we'll get ready to sign it then.
Okay.
Good job.